Man, I love college.
Do I really have to graduate, or can I just stay here for the rest of my life?
Keno Radio. Keno Radio. Keno Radio.
So it was sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
We were playing Weymouth down in Hingham, and it was the second period of a game. As I look back on it, I think about how the first period to me is an absolute blur. I don't forget. I don't remember the first period.
Yeah.
I remember warming up. I remember stretching, but it really all comes back to me in the second period, and it's still a blur. But I remember jumping the boards. I remember coach gave us our call, so we jumped the boards, and our bench was at the opposite end of our end. So it was the second period. So the goalie's in the other end.
Yep.
That's where the puck was, and I was racing down. Puck entered our zone, and right behind the crease, right behind the net, the puck was there, and I raced back for it. As I think about it now, I was totally out of position as a forward behind the net.
Yeah.
But puck came off the boards, and I looked down, and just when I looked down, I was bumped from behind and lost my footing and went head first into the boards. And obviously, you get hit all the time, and you're told to get back up.
Yeah.
But as I tried to get back up multiple times, nothing happened. And that's when I knew I was in trouble. So I kind of my body kind of blacked out, my mind kind of blacked out, and I remember coming back too with one of my best friends' mom. She's an ER nurse, kind of in my face talking to me. And I remember looking next to her and seeing my mom's pants, her jeans, and they were wet up to about the ankle, which let me know she'd been on the ice for a long time.
Oh wow!
I was kind of out of it for a long time.
Yeah.
That's where I knew, oh shit, this is serious.
Yeah. Right.
So I was loaded onto a backboard. Went to social hospital where they kind of stabilized me. Last thing I remember is my mom kissed me on the forehead, saying everything's going to be okay, and I woke up about 5 days later at Children's Hospital.
Wow, 5 days later?
Yeah, it was like a medically induced coma.
Induced coma?
Yeah, just to keep me heavily sedated, keep me comfortable.
Yeah, right.
Came back to it, and I was like, oh shit, here we are.
Yeah, right. So, all right. So I don't even know really. How about this? Well, I didn't even get to do an intro or introduce you at all. So I'm going to do a little backwards. That's going to reel people in right there. So we got, if you haven't known by now, we got Matt Brown, who is a former Norwood High Mustang hockey player who suffered a spinal injury. Spinal, right?
Yep.
Spinal injury. And he's here. He's here with us right now to tell his story, tell what's going on with his life right now. So, I mean, that got me right into it. Hopefully that got everyone else right into it. So, after you said you hit the boards, did you get checked? Were you hit, or did you lose an edge? How'd that go down?
I hate describing it because it was a hockey play.
Yeah.
I was not viciously checked from behind. It was a hockey play, and I was bumped, and I lost my footing.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing that I need to keep, that I always say is that, I could have done this to him.
Yeah, right?
It was a hockey play, and I don't want anyone to think that, he did it on purpose. It was a hockey play, and actually, me and the kid have a really good relationship.
I was gonna say, so have you've talked with the kid since then?
We have a really, really good relationship. The family's unbelievable. His friend group is unbelievable. And we really have a good relationship now.
That's cool. So, do you guys? Has he like helped you kind of along the way with it? Has he? Because I know you do a lot of things. We'll get into that, like a lot of foundation stuff. Has he been a part of those too?
Somewhat, yeah. It really gets a good friendship. Like when you see, because he's school up north. He lives down in Weymouth.
Yeah.
We don't see each other all the time, but when we are together, it's a close friendship.
That's cool. Is there? I hate to be a huge pain, but you had the mic like right there before. If you could get it right there again, it's
Gotcha.
They're right there. That's perfect. I love it. So you're still friends with the kid right now. That's always good to see. And so do you remember anything like after? Do you remember I assume did you get knocked out? Were you unconscious?
No, I'm not sure. I don't think I was ever unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
I think just that my body kind of had enough. They're like, oh shit, this is pretty serious. Let's shut down for a little bit. Let's shut your brain off for a little bit.
Yeah.
It kind of like just blacked out.
So, like right away, did you have the feeling like, oh wow, this is like I can't move?
So the book 11 Seconds by Travis Roy.
Yeah. I was actually I read that back in the day, so I was thinking that whole thing.
So I remember getting hit, and just feeling like 100,000 pounds was on me, and I just couldn't get up. And I remember in my mind flicking back to I think it's pages like 42, 43, 44 is that when he describes getting hurt, and in my mind I just kept flicking back through those pages. And he says something in the book where he talks about how the what's it called? He was on the ice for a while, and his breath made the ice super smooth. And as I looked down, I was breathing so much that the ice, the snow, was completely melted. It was a completely, like clean sheet of ice.
Yeah.
Which brought me right back to his book.
So did you have a sense at the time what happened?
No, and I knew it was serious.
Serious.
And when I kept, as I look back now, I kept saying, I kept telling my mom, and I kept telling my mom, I was like, Mom, this is serious. I can't move. This is serious. And the son of the mother that was right in my face, she was like, what do you want? Like, as the ambulance is coming. I said, let me talk to Brendan. And he came over and got down in front of me. And, as I look back on it, I probably should have said something else, but I looked at him in the eyes and said, buddy, I can't move. Like, this is serious.
Damn.
Yeah.
What was his reaction to that?
Yeah, he started crying. I started crying. But I needed to see him.
Right. Did you know him before?
Absolutely.
You did?
We grew up best friends.
Oh, okay.
Best friends.
Okay.
I said I needed to see him.
Yeah.
But no, it was it was a, like, as you can imagine, it was a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
I think my body had enough during those times, and it was just like, you got to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And like as I said, when I came back, saw my mom's pants, I started flipping through those pages, and I called Brendan over. I said, "Listen, buddy, this is it, and this is serious."
So how long were you like conscious and knowing what's going on when you got to the hospital and they put you in the coma?
Yeah. So
how was that, like, knowing like I'm gonna go into?
So when I got on the backboard, people started to clap, and what you see every sporting event, you see someone gives a thumbs up.
Yeah. And
I was trying my hardest to give the thumbs up, give the wave. Like, no, it's like saying it was all right.
Yeah, right.
And I just couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the ride to the hospital. We had to go super slow because my neck wasn't stabilized yet. And me being the 15-year-old perv that I am, when I got into the emergency room, I was kind of sick. Just my body was all messed up, and there was a beautiful nurse, and I was talking to her, and I threw up like right as I'm talking to her, and I'm like, you know what, that probably wasn't the best first impression. And she was laughing, everyone was laughing, but then they started giving me some serious meds.
Yeah.
They intubated me, put the tube down my throat, just so I could breathe because my body was basically shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
And then they called the big ambulance from Children's. Group from Children's came down and got me. And they had like the big ambulance. And they drove me to Children's, and I spent about 19 days at Children's.
So when you woke up, when were you? So what is the official like ruling now? You're doing rehab and stuff now, right?
Yep, rehab. Yep,
Are
three days a week.
So is it I don't. This is one of the questions. I don't know. I'm just gonna come out and say it. What's like the likelihood of like walking and using all your extremities again?
You know, that's obviously the dream, and that's going to be the dream. That's going to be the goal until I do it or the day I die.
Mm-hmm.
It's no matter what. That's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to fight every day. But my injury, like my level of injury, is moving down. At first, I couldn't move my arms, shoulders, legs, or anything. I can now wiggle toes on my feet.
Okay.
When I'm not in my chair, I can move my arms a little bit. So like stuff's waking up. It's just taking its sweet ass time.
Yeah, right. So how old are you now? You're
22.
22. So this was 7 years ago.
6.5 right now.
6.5 years ago.
Yep, 6.5.
So what was the reaction from like your buddies? Because obviously our mutual friend, how this happened was because of PD. What did they say after? What was like the team like? Like when did you get back with the team and all that stuff?
So it was about a week. So a little more than a week. It might have been that following weekend when the team finally came in, and it was what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was happy to see them, but I think it was tough for some of them. I think it was tough for some of them. You know, there were a lot of tears in my hospital room that weekend, but it was something that, like, you know, again I needed.
Yeah.
I needed to see the boys, and I think they needed to see me.
Right.
You know, I had a lot of tubes, a lot of wires, a lot of machines coming out of everywhere, which I think scared some of them. But it was definitely what I needed, and I think what they needed.
Yeah,
and then for like the next couple weeks, when I was still at Children's, like some of them would stop in periodically. But no, like that support has never wavered.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's what you want. So going back, I'm kind of just bouncing all over the place on here as ideas flow. That's how we roll on Keno Radio. We don't write anything down. We just go off the cuff.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
Right? So when you get, I would imagine the hardest part of the whole experience would be when you get the news that you are paralyzed and whatnot and you can't use your legs or your arms and whatever. I guess just take me through that. How was that? How big of a bummer was that and everything like that, you know?
It was tough. It was tough. I think I knew it before they officially told me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they would say it's serious. But what's so great about Children's and what I think doctors are realizing is that they never told me I'd never walk again. That was never uttered. I know people that they told it to, and they proved them wrong.
Okay.
And I know people that they told it to that have really been discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave a talk at Children's Hospital a couple weeks ago, and what I said is that the power that the doctors have in that room is the power to control hope.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have the power to control hope, and hope is a powerful, powerful thing. And that's what I liked about them so much, is that they never told me, you know, it's never going to happen. It's going to be a long, hard road, but they never said never. So I think that really kind of gave me some, you know, juice to really get
right? Some motivation, so to speak.
Exactly, to really get going, and really like never quit.
All right. So did you ever like go through kind of like a lull, a dark period after where you're just like, what now? Like why me? Anything like that?
There were some dark days in Children's.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of asking, why me? What did I do to deserve this?
Yep.
Why did this happen to me? But you know what? It was there that I realized that I had two options. I could give in or face it and fight it. And, you know, that's where we realized that it's time to look forward, not back. You know, we could, like, bad days happen. Everyone has bad days.
Yeah, right?
Everyone has them. But for me, it's important to make sure those days don't linger.
Yeah.
Those days don't hang around. And that's where I think, you know, my family, friends, and community.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great attitude you got coming out here. Just if you're tuning in, spitting life advice right now for everybody. But it sounds like, which I think is really impressive out of you, is you're not holding any grudges against the game, like the game of hockey itself, which you do see a lot of athletes when they get hurt, they kind of blame the game, and just like you're seeing everything with football now with concussions and stuff like that. So it's good to see. Did you ever were you ever like, I hate hockey, like it's hockey's fault or anything like that?
My love for the game has only grown.
Yeah.
My love for the game has really only grown. It's the best sport. It's the fastest sport. It's my love for the game is only grown. I do not hold anything against the game of hockey.
I mean, that's like I was saying, that's great for to hear, because like I was saying, a lot of people do. So it is really good to hear that you have such a positive outlook about it. But so kind of, I guess, flash forward a little bit.
Yep.
When did you get to like school? When did you start get back into the swing of things?
So after children's, I was hurt January 23rd, 2010.
Yeah.
On February 17th, I was flown to Atlanta, Georgia, to the Shepherd Center, which, again, I can't say enough about them. They were a rehab hospital specifically for spinal cord injuries, and they, as we talked about, like me and my family, is that they taught me how to live in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Now that didn't mean it was going to be forever, but I needed to learn how to live in it for now.
For the now, yeah.
So I got there on February 17th, and I finally came home May 5th. So it was almost 3 full months. And over the summer, I had 2 tutors come in and kind of catch me up on the 2 terms I missed in high school. And by September, I was back junior year with my grade.
Oh, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
Did your like brain? I know, like, because was it a brain injury at all? Did you suffer any memory loss or anything like that?
No. I hit my head pretty hard.
Yeah, I would imagine.
No, I fool around with that. No, I didn't, and that was what the biggest. I saw a lot of in the hospital traumatic brain injuries, and that's where I'm so lucky to, my body doesn't work, but I'm still me.
Yeah,
I'm still Matt.
Right.
That's been the biggest. That's been the biggest takeaway is that, I'm still me.
I mean, you still obviously have the personality. It's not like your speech, anything's different like that. So it is good to see, and it is. I can kind of. My mom, she has MS, so she's her left side of her body is like paralyzed now too, and she's the same way. It's still like her. It's just physically a little different type of thing.
Exactly.
Now. So it is a cool way to look at it. I guess that is the silver lining out of it all. So you get back with your grade.
Yeah.
How is going back to school?
It was different. It was tough. I needed an aide to write my notes.
Yeah.
Feed me at lunch. Kind of go class to class. But we found a great guy, and junior year was great, and then senior year was even better. I crossed. I'll be honest with you. I crossed a lot of things off my future, quote unquote, future list when I got hurt. And I think going to college was one of those things. I didn't think it would work. Mm-hmm. Thought there's no way it could happen. And as my friends started talking about, school kind of going, that's when I was like, you know what? I want to give it a shot.
Yeah, right?
I want to give it a shot. And my aunt coaches women's basketball down at Stonehill.
Yeah.
She's been there since 2000, 2001. So I've been going there for years. And I fell in love with that school in 3rd, 4th grade. Mm-hmm. And so when it came time to, maybe think about a school, Stonehill was a perfect fit. It was 25 minutes away, close enough to home if I needed something, far enough away that it'd be away from mom and dad.
Yeah.
And they opened their arms, man. They said, anything you need, we'll do our best. I can't thank them enough because the last 4 years have been some of the best years of my life.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you know anything...
Yeah,
right. If you know anything about
Keno
Radio, we're big college guys over here. So let's dive into a little college aspect of it. I'm getting a little tough internet right now on my part. I got shoddy internet.
Let me know if you need me to do anything.
No, you're good. I think we forgot to pay the Comcast bill. No. Yeah, we should be good. Also, I apologize. This can be like a little halftime. I apologize for me being so dark. I didn't realize my room was this dark till I saw it on the computer itself.
Nah, don't worry about it.
So I apologize for that. We're just gonna roll. I know it goes in and out on Skype. We're just gonna roll with it. So if you get really broken up, I'll let you know. But so college, how is that going into it? Like I said, we're huge into the college scene on Keno Radio. So how is that? Do you feel like you got as normal like as college as you can get?
Yes. It was really connection problem. There's been a problem with the. Can you hear me?
I can still hear you and see you.
I think we're good now.
It's getting clear. Yeah.
So
We're back.
I'm telling you, man, it was as normal as it could have been for me.
Okay.
I really, oh man, like I really had a great 4 years. I had the same roommate for 4 years, a kid who lives in Norwood. I've known him since I was 5.
Yeah.
Played baseball, hockey growing up. So we're boys, and it was awesome to live with him for 4 years. And then our last 2 years, we moved into a suite kind of style.
Yep.
Where we lived with 8 hockey kids, 3 baseball kids, and a rugby kid. So there was 14 of us. Just causing mayhem.
Just living the college life.
It was awesome.
When you come into school, did you get were people kind of standoffish a little bit?
So let me tell you about that.
Or was everyone just open?
I can't say enough about Norwood.
They really
had,
feel like they've rallied, kind of used it as a community to
exactly
rally type of thing.
I had so much support here, and I was nervous I wasn't going to get that at school.
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous it was kind of going to be me and, oh shit, I'm by myself.
Yeah.
But I cannot tell you how wrong I was.
Oh.
I was so wrong. People wanted to meet me. People wanted to talk. People wanted to just kind of get to know Matt and what goes on. And
yeah, right?
Everyone was so supportive. It was incredible. It was really incredible. I was blown away by how much support I got when I was there.
That's awesome. That's good to see. That's a little faith in humanity right there. We need sparks like that every now and then.
Absolutely.
It's good to see. So you just graduated. What'd you major in? What's up next?
Communications.
Hey, that's what I like to see.
Exactly.
What are you doing with it?
So I didn't realize how much these 4 years took out of me. So I'm really going to relax for the next couple weeks.
I like that.
I don't know what I want to do, man.
Join the club. Why don't you just start a podcast pretend it's something?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. It changes every day. I would obviously love to do something with sports.
Yeah.
My friends mess with me and say I have the face for radio. So
hey, join the club. I got a head of hair for radio, so.
So I would love to do sports radio. I think that would be something awesome.
Right?
I just don't know how to go about it. So I'm
I would love to get into radio, but we're at the point you think about it for 4 years, I want to do this, I want to do this, then you get to the point you're like, oh, now what do I do? How do I actually do it? It's all just imagination, then all of a sudden you're expected to actually do something and you don't know how.
I realized that I should have took definitely more advantage of the services at Stonehill. Maybe career services a little.
Yeah, right?
Should have maybe been there a little bit more. But I'm not too worried right now. I'm not worried at all about finding a job right yet.
Yeah.
I really just want to relax for the next couple of weeks.
That's a good look. That's the way to go for it. So I know one of the big things I want to talk about. I know do you have a foundation? You do kind of events to raise awareness for things. Let's just get into that.
So we have it's not really a foundation. It's called Brownie Points, where we raise money.
Say it one more time. You cut out real quick. We got to get that name in there.
It's called Brownie Points.
Brownie Points, love it.
So that's where we raise money for me. We raise money for others. But we've been working on the Matt Brown Foundation, which hopefully, fingers crossed, gets done this summer. And that's where we're going to really raise money for people in need. Not definitely spinal cord injuries, but not just spinal cord injuries. Really, anyone that needs help, we're going to look to. We're going to see if we can help them out.
I like it. Like I was saying, obviously my mom's in a similar situation. You need a spokes guy, anything like that. I'm all in for that. You need an MC or get me on a mic or anything. A little hype man. So I'm like, literally, let me know anytime you're doing any events. But
totally.
So what have you done? I think Petey was telling me, didn't you do something at like the Garden or at Fenway or something like that?
So we've had we call our three big fundraisers have been. We did one at Gillette. It was the first Matt Brown Gala. Then we did a year and a half later. We did one at the Garden on the Garden floor, and then a year and a half after that, we did Fenway. So we kind of did the three big stadiums, and raised again the people, the support raised a lot of money, and I'm very, very, very grateful for that because this injury can cost a lot of money.
Yeah, that's one thing they don't like to talk about.
And insurance isn't always great.
Yeah.
But no, so the support has been greatly appreciated by me and my family.
So at these things, what like is it? Just what goes on at the event? I don't even know. Is it
silent auction? There's silent auction, live auction. Bunch of people running around saying, "Please donate more money." At the Garden, there was so the way I drive my chair is all by breath.
Yeah, I also want to ask about that.
I blow out to go forward, suck in to go back, and soft to blow, suck in to go left and right. So at the Garden, there was a chair that people could try out, which was fun.
That's
a lot of live music, and really just a good time.
That's great. Well, like I was saying, if you ever keep us posted, I'm all in. I know I don't have a big following at all here on Keno Radio, but anytime you got something like that going on, let me know. We'll give shout outs. I'm
Absolutely.
down to be there. Anything like that, anything I can do to be a part of it, I'm all in for that.
Totally, man. Totally.
I'm all in for that type of stuff. So I thought I had one more.
You have a question about Hall Pass?
Oh yeah, Petey was telling me that Hall Pass. Yeah. You were in it, right?
So he was telling me that it's like one of your favorite movies.
It's literally that and Van Wilder. Two best films of all time. So what's up with that?
So the Fairley brothers and another guy that produced the movie was Chris Meyer, and he knew my uncle, my dad's cousin somehow, and they were filming down in Atlanta.
Yep.
And one day they came over on a Friday, and it was a nice little meet and greet, meeting the Fairley brothers.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they said, we're filming tomorrow. I mean, can you get out? And I think we looked around and said, any way we can, we will. And the scene right, you can't see me very well at all, but the scene right after the beginning when Jason Sudeikis and Owen Wilson meet at the park.
Yeah.
He talks about going out to his car, jerking off in the car, and say it's like a time machine.
Yeah.
So if you look as the camera pans in, right near the tennis courts.
Yeah.
It's me next to a bench, a beautiful girl next to me, my dad standing behind me, and we're kind of just sitting at the bench.
That's awesome. I know the exact scene you're talking about too. When they bring the kids to the playground. So were you on set for did you get to meet anyone?
Whole day. I met Owen Wilson, Jason Sudeikis.
Sudeikis is my favorite actor.
Dude, he is so funny.
Is he as funny as he?
Great guy.
They both are they both good? They both seem like they're kind of good guys.
Yeah, Owen Wilson was a little bit of a dick. I think he was tired.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think it was a long day.
Because he plays a nice guy in all of his movies, so I feel like he has to get sick of that. But Sudeikis just seems genuinely hilarious.
So there was a bunch of little kids running around the park, and they must have done the scene 35 times.
Really?
And after it's only a minute scene.
Yeah, it's a quick one.
So after a couple, after every couple 5 or 6 scenes, kids would be running around, and Sudeikis would joke around and scream at the top of his lungs for all the kids to get back back in place.
Yeah.
And the kids were terrified, but he'd turn and start laughing. It was awesome.
That's great. Yeah, that's. I'm so pumped you remember that, because that's literally top 2 favorite movies of all time with me.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So, yeah, the other things, I know your Twitter pick is you at the Bees game, dropping the puck, right?
Yeah,
so
what other cool things like that? That was in 2012. Mm-hmm. The Boston Bruins Foundation bought my new wheelchair. I bought my chair at the time.
That's awesome.
And, me and my dad walked out center ice with Bob Sweeney of the Boston Bruins Foundation.
Yeah.
And, my dad helped me drop the puck. And so remember how I told you I blacked out when I got hurt?
Yeah.
So going out, I blacked out, and I don't remember it until I was on our way back in. It was unbelievable, but when I recorded it.
Yeah, right.
And watching it, it's so cool.
That's awesome.
It was so cool. The whole garden was on their feet.
Cheering.
You got Char next to you.
Surreal.
I've been lucky enough to meet most of those guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then when we were at Street Party, you had the Darth Quader come down and say what's up. So do you know some of the Bees? And
yeah, very well. The first jersey I received was Patrice Bergeron's, and on it he said, "To Matt, stay positive," and he actually wrote a handwritten note.
Patrice seems like the kind of guy that would do that.
Note. And I've been every Bruins game I go into, I go down and see him after the game.
Really?
I feel comfortable calling him my friend.
Really? That's awesome.
I have a great, unbelievable relationship with Andrew Ference.
He also seems like, I was so bummed when we let him go. He seems like
it was tough. But when the Bruins won, he invited me into his day with the cup.
Yeah.
So I spent the whole day with him, going to why can't I think of it? What's the place in Spalding? I went to Spalding.
Yeah.
And we went to a nice Italian dinner with it. And I keep up with him a lot.
That's
on Twitter.
Awesome. What's he doing now? Is he still playing now?
I think he's done. I think he's going to buy out. His contract's going to be bought out.
Is he still up in Edmonton?
For now, but I think he wants to come.
Technically,
I think he's still up there. He wants to come back to Boston though. I think he's going to school at the Harvard Kennedy Business School.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he was always one of my guys. It seemed like that whole team kind of was big into the whole Boston thing. I know Thornton says when he's done he's coming back, and I
have another good relationship with him.
He seems like the best.
The guy that pushes me in the marathon knows him pretty well. And one day they called me. It was a Friday night. Me and my buddy are at school, pregame before we go out, and they call me up. We talk for a couple minutes, and they were playing Buffalo the next day. And this is when Steve Ott was on Buffalo.
Yeah.
And the last thing I remember saying to him, I go, hey, do me a favor, fuck up Steve Ott. and he started laughing. But no, we have a good relationship.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm really lucky.
Yeah, right. Really so lucky. How'd the whole Boston Marathon thing come into play?
Yeah, we have a family friend named Lucas Carr, who was an Army Ranger. Got out of the Army in 08, maybe 07. And through family friends, he came and visited me a couple times. And when I got home, he stayed close. And really, one day he asked, he was like, listen, man, would you ever want to run in the marathon? And I think I said yes before he could finish.
Really?
Yeah. It's so funny. I hated running. When I was younger, growing up.
Yeah.
It's the worst. But there's something about the marathon, the Boston Marathon, where you get a standing ovation for 26 miles.
Yeah, right.
People screaming for 4 hours, screaming your name. It's really a fun thing to do now, and I really look forward to it every year.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. It is a cool thing. I don't know how people can run 26 miles, but that's
no chance. Dude, I get pushed and I'm tired.
Yeah, right.
I get pushed and I'm tired by the end of it.
Honestly, but I just want to know another thing. So you when we were talking about Stonehill and whatnot, you were just saying going out. So does booze hit you? How's that now?
It's fun. It's interesting. I think my parents. Yeah, I drank in high school, and I kind of I think my parents wanted me to get used to it before I went to school.
Yeah.
So I kind of got off scot-free a couple nights. But no, I think it hits me the same as it does you.
Yeah,
I get
right?
sloppy. I start saying things I shouldn't. And my pickup lines turn to trash. No, it's. I think it's the same way.
Yeah, right. I don't know. That was just a thought that I had.
I enjoy my hard liquor. I enjoy my Busch Light.
There you go. Just like the rest of us. I love it. And so, I imagine? What do you guys roll for a vehicle? You guys got a van, like handicap type vans?
Yeah. So we
Once again, I'm just spitballing just random questions.
Oh man, that's fine. So we have Herb Chambers up in Burlington created this van. It has no. It's not like a Ford. It's not a Chevy. It has no make. They built it, and it's called an MV1. It's a modified vehicle that is strictly for chairs, and it's actually really, really nice. It's really nice. Like the ramp goes in under the car.
Yeah.
It's a really good looking car.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So that's just good to know. Good to know stuff.
Absolutely.
Just mental notes of everything. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have any more questions. I mean, you've given me plenty of information. I don't know if you had. I got a couple of. I don't know if you want to hang around for a little more, but just like topics that I was going to do on a solo epi. If you want to chime in on some.
Absolutely.
So that interview portion over. We're just chiming into normal Keno Radio with special guest Matt Brown.
I'm telling you, this better not be my last time.
Dude, no. Always recurring guests. I'm solo all summer long, so if you just want to hop in every time, I'm in. I hate doing it alone. It's so weird. But so I got obviously. All right, let's go just into the hockey.
Hold on. I got a question.
Okay.
So the first episode I watched was when intern Dana was on.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. It was the most viewed by far. Like
really.
1,000 times. It's up to like 6,000 views, and none of the other ones even have like 500. But
really,
yeah, it was cool. She was cool. She ended up coming on a couple times after that.
Please tell me you guys cleaned up your apartment for her.
We did a little bit.
Oh, you didn't. You didn't.
I'm a clean guy. My room at school was really clean. I'm a clean guy. I hate messes like that. So I don't remember the living room. It probably wasn't great.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, she was cool. She was really cool. She was good about it too. She answered.
She seems like a pretty good. I don't want to call her a good girl, but she seems like a good person.
Yeah, no, she was always really nice. Always said what's up to me when we saw each other out, and I was a big fan. I was happy. I thought we'd get her on a couple more times as like more of another co-host, but
yeah,
it was just tough. I mean, schedules are so conflicting at school. But she was definitely cool. I'm hoping to get her on again this summer. I need to get the band back together. Maybe we'll do a three-way episode. I know that sounds weird, and I'm just gonna go out and say it. But yeah, no, she was cool. The other guy, are you a challenge guy? Do you watch the challenge?
I don't.
That was gonna be a topic.
Pretty good.
It's the best thing you should watch.
Anyways, jump into your topics.
I was gonna say, well, that was gonna be one of them, but if you're not a challenge guy, I can't talk about that.
I was gonna say that's all you, man.
No. Well, just in two weeks of great episodes back to back, they've gotten back into good episodes.
Heard it wasn't very good
to start off. Last season was terrible. I went off on it. This season started good, then got really slow, and then the last 2 weeks really picked up. So I'm stoked about that. Should be a good second half. Looks like they're gonna finish strong. But I just want to, I mean, obviously you're a hockey guy. Pitt won the cup. What do you got on Pittsburgh?
So upset.
Yeah?
I wanted Jumbo Joe to win so
I
bad.
think everybody did. I was the same way.
I wanted Jumbo Joe to win so bad. And now that fatty Phil gets to raise the...
See, that's the only good thing is I'm a huge Phil guy. I honestly think he's my favorite Bruin of all time. I loved him. I was so mad when we traded him. I was devastated. But I was happy to see him.
Why?
win.
What do you mean? We got Sagan. We got. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
It's just like, but it's the biggest pet peeve of me with the Bruins is they get someone and they groom them for 3 years. They're nasty offensively, then they ship them away.
See ya.
Right? It's just like, and Pasternak's next, and I'm not gonna be happy about that. However you say his name, Pasternak or whatever. It
But,
sounds like I'm talking how he talks.
No, but really, I really wanted Jumbo Joe to win bad.
I did too. I think everybody did.
Yeah, I love. How do you not love Brent Burns?
Right?
The guy looks like he's straight out of West Virginia,
Right.
and he's pretty damn good.
He's his shot is phenomenal.
It finds its way. No, so yeah, I was upset that I was going to be okay anyways, but I really wanted San Jose to win.
Right. At the end of the day, I just woke up and lived my life again. Like, I was bummed right off the bat, and then I was like, yeah, well, he didn't. The only bummer is I think that was his shot. I don't think he's getting there, and I think Pittsburgh is going to be good for a while. So I was like, Phil and Crosby can get his second one for, like, the next 5 years, whereas I don't think Joe's going to have another shot.
I don't think Jumbo Joe gets back.
I was definitely bummed about that. And he had such a good year this year. But what do you think Crosby getting a second one? That really cements him as being really, really good.
That's a big win for him.
Huge.
That's a big win for him, and he has so much hate, but he's so damn good.
It's kind of like the LeBron, but LeBron I think is way more hateable because he's just like the biggest me guy.
Yeah.
Crosby gets the hate because he's kind of just like soft. I don't really understand the Crosby hate.
No, and actually, one of my buddies tagged me in like a video that someone made that you'll know why you hate him after you watch it. But you know what? I was actually pretty happy for him. I think a second Stanley Cup is huge. Huge for his legacy.
Yeah, and I like to see when like the hype of prospects lives up to it. Like when you guys like LeBron and Crosby, where they're the next best thing and they're actually good in the NHL, then they actually win at the highest level.
Exactly,
like and so it's good to see. He's not like a fluke.
No, and that's why as you say that, I'm going to get ridiculed for saying this, but I kind of want LeBron to win in Cleveland.
Yeah, I get that argument. I still don't like it because I really don't like LeBron, but I 100% understand the argument. I totally get where you're coming with that.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hate the guy. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
I can't stand his antics. He's great, but I can't stand him. But I would love to see, what a win in Cleveland would do to that bum city.
It'd go up in flames. They wouldn't know what to do. It'd be like Vancouver when they lost.
I think it's going to go up in flames either way. If they win or if they lose, that city might get burnt to the ground.
I'm praying way more for a loss and LeBron to leave this summer. That's what I need now. That's what I need so bad.
There is no way he can leave.
I think he's gonna. I really think he's gonna. I think him and KD are gonna team up somewhere. So perfect segue. Who you got tonight? Because that game, we're recording this on Thursday, whatever day it is, and Game 6 is tonight.
6 is tonight.
Who you got? Are you a basketball guy?
No, but I'm a sports guy.
I think you're kind of in basketball. It's kind of just like a couple notches below. So what are you? Hockey?
But I will football, hockey.
Yeah, those two for me.
I'm like a 65-year-old dad. I'm watching the Sox a ton. But no, like it's the NBA Finals. I'm going to watch this game beginning to end. I hope it's close, but I would love to see Game 7. I think Game 7 in anything is great, and I think this would be a huge Game 7.
I also am so 100% team hate when they win, like Pittsburgh when you win on the road. So I would rather.
It is the worst. It is the worst. It is the worst.
The worst. I would rather have Cleveland win tonight, so I can have because I think Cleveland wins tonight, and then I think Golden State wins at Game 7 at home. That's how I think it's going to go down. That's how I hope it does because it's literally the worst. That was the biggest reason. I just wanted the Sharks to win Game 6, so if Pittsburgh did win, they would win it at home. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that's the worst. Is there anything else in the sporting news?
No. U.S. Open. You a golf guy?
I'm not gonna lie. I just don't get hyped up for golf, and I think everyone who does is fake. How about that? I think everyone. I was talking about this when Masters Week was coming.
You were gonna call me. So basically, yeah, I'm totally fake to you right now.
Why? Are you a big? Well, are you like a golf guy year round?
Love it.
Okay.
Absolutely love it.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
We have all these kids who are like Masters Week. They're always like Masters. I'm like, dude, you don't watch it any other. It's like the World Cup. It's like all of a sudden you're a big golf fan.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Right?
That's a perfect way to put it.
I try so hard for both to get into it, and at the end of the day, I'm like, it's just soccer, or I'm like, it's just golf.
I'm sorry, you
Did
tuned out a little bit, just a little bit. But no,
Am I back?
you're back.
All right.
The way you put it with the World Cup is dead on with some people. Dead on.
And I just
But no, I really like the game of golf.
then you're cool. You're cool in my book. So who you got for golf? I don't know anyone.
So I do this golf pool at the local watering hole at the local bar, and this week it's a foursome. You could take any 4 golfers you want. I took Rory McIlroy, who's shitting the bed right now, and Jason Day, Dustin Johnson, and Adam Scott, who haven't teed off yet.
Okay. I'm a big Brandt Snedeker guy. I like his name and I like his hair, and that's about it. That's all I got for golf.
But you're right. Like, other than that, there's really, I mean, if this ends tonight, we got the NBA draft, NHL draft, and then it's baseball for the rest of the summer.
For the rest of the summer. I was sad.
Which kind of sucks.
Right? Even though luckily the Sox are fun. I've declared the Sox Captain Fun approved this season, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
They're definitely fun. So I've watched more Sox than I usually do. I got to get to a game. What was that? I was just going to say something. I forget. I always do that. But whatever. Sox, totally cool with me. Oh, after the Cup, I was just so sad. I sat there, and I was like, we don't have hockey until October.
Hockey's over.
So
you're a Bruin fan, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be an interesting summer for the Bees.
Yeah, what do you got? What do you think's going on? You're the inside source. You're gonna be the Keno Radio insider. I'm going to you for the sources from here on out.
So I'm your Chris Broussard.
You exactly sources.
No, I don't know what they're going to do.
That's not a very good first line out of my source right there.
You need a number 1 D, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Kevin Miller getting $2 million a year, isn't he our guy?
They got what is it, the 14th pick?
Hopefully something not good. It's like the buffer zone where you didn't make the playoffs, but you don't get a good pick. We're in like the worst spot.
We're literally the last team.
Yeah,
literally the last team. But no, I hope they dish Chara. I mean,
I think they missed their zone though. I think 3 years ago they should have and could have got someone.
Dump his contract.
They're gonna get a bag of pucks for him.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Dish his contract.
But I love the guy.
Give Bergie the C.
Yeah, he has to. That's well overdue, I think.
I don't know. I hope they do something about their defense.
Yeah, I mean they gotta. And my big thing this year is they got to get Frankie V as a top 6 all season.
Let him do his thing.
He has to be a top 6 all year.
Let him shoot.
Right?
Let him shoot.
I think he's the best pure goal scorer on the team. You know, he came in. He was averaging almost a goal a game in the AHL, and they sent him back down.
33 goals in 35 games, something like that.
He's too good for the AHL. They got to keep him up. He's got to be top 6 the entire season.
And my thing is, who gives a shit if his defense isn't up to par with what Claude wants?
Right?
Let him do his thing. Let him shoot.
Claude's thing has been working the last 3 years, so
yeah,
it's time to move on.
Exactly.
Move on. I just got 2. All right, these are straying away from sports now. That's our sports talk. Just 2 random stories in the news. Actually, one's just a random thought. But first one, did you see the latest? This is not even a funny subject, but
stop. I know exactly what you're gonna say. Something about Orlando.
No.
Oh,
that
okay,
one I wouldn't
God.
make it. That's
Thank
way
God.
to go. That's where your head's at.
Thank God.
I was if I was doing a solo, I was gonna touch on that, and I was like, no one wants to hear I just like keep everything to yourself.
Yes.
But this one is I shouldn't even be laughing. But the kid who the alligator who took like the little toddler. Did you hear about that?
Dude, that's Orlando.
I thought you meant the shooting in Orlando.
No, that was Disney. Like everything's horrible in Orlando right now.
Yeah, and my buddy actually just moved there last week, so it's tough looks for him. But I don't know if you listened last week. Last week I was going on about the Harambe or whatever, and the gorilla and the kid.
I'm Team Harambe.
But my big thing, I just want to highlight. This is another thing. Like as a parent, I was saying last week, you got to be able to go through your whole life without letting your kid get into a gorilla pit. You got to go your whole life without letting your kid get snatched by an alligator. It's just like it's another thing I was going on about. I think that you need to bring back kids being on leashes. I think that's got to be more of a thing now. You got to take in consideration, no?
Dude, you remember growing up when you saw a kid on a leash, you were so happy that wasn't you.
But like you got to know. I guess you got to know your children. if your children's one to be swimming in alligator-infested waters,
dude, it's Disney World. It's the happiest place on earth. But no, like, so I was in bed, and I'm like I said, I'm 65. I watched the news in the morning, at noon, at 4 o'clock, and at night. And
that is a wicked 65-year-old move.
Dude, so bad. And when it came on, my jaw dropped. I said no way. And my family was lucky enough to go to Disney a bunch when I was younger.
I've never been. Side note.
It's great. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
and I think if now that like you're older, it could be even
more fun.
Yeah,
really?
Totally.
So
totally.
I'm confused. Were they like in the park? Like, is this the equivalent of an alligator being in like Canopy Lake Park?
So I thought it was like Animal Kingdom where all the animals are. No, this was at their hotel on the beach. The kid was like ankle deep, and a 7-foot gator came up and grabbed him and dragged him into the water.
That's horrible.
It's so bad.
It's so bad, but I'm sorry for laughing. But that is the worst case scenario.
It's the scariest thing ever. It's
that's
like
horrible.
that. Like that's nightmare scenario.
All right, how about this? How about this for Would You Rather? You survive the falling into a gorilla pit, and you survive an alligator attack as a toddler. Which one would you rather be to have the story of? Would you rather have the story that you were in?
The gorilla gets you more ass, I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm going gator. I think gator is the most like badass creature out there. It's essentially you survived a dinosaur.
A dinosaur,
attack.
Exactly, a dinosaur.
And I always I used to go to South Carolina every year for vacation, and I always saw gators. And every year when I'd see one, my first thought would be like, if I like got like a finger or like maybe even a hand chopped off, it wouldn't be the worst thing if I survived because it'd be a really cool story. So I think I'd rather get the gator attack.
So you're getting attacked by the gator. I mean, you got scars. Like, is your hand missing? If you go into the gorilla pit, I mean, you're face to face with one of the most fearsome things ever. Are you beat up bad?
Well, that's the thing. People might not believe you if you don't have any scars.
My thing is that do you remember this for the rest of your life? I mean, because there's no way that if that 2-year-old survived, I don't think he'd remember it. The 4-year-old in the gorilla pit, maybe.
Well, okay. Well, how about like right now? Would you rather be face to face with a gorilla or an alligator?
Totally gorilla.
Do you think so?
That'd be so badass.
I don't know, dude. I think I'd have a better chance against a gorilla. A gator, I feel like would be so out of my jurisdiction. Because you're in water naturally,
dude. The gorilla is basically the Rock, like basically the Rock, dragging you around, beating the shit out of you.
It is true. Yeah, it's a tough one. That's a toss-up. That is a Keno Radio toss-up. If you listen, you have an opinion. Let us know if you'd rather wrestle an alligator or a gorilla.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I think I covered it all. What I was going to talk about. Oh, here's the last one. This is one of my latest subject. This is what I usually rap on. It's called Something to Think About. So I'm about to blow your mind right now.
Okay.
Right? Absolutely blow your mind. So I was listening to some Dave Matthews the other day, and I looked up where he was from on Wikipedia because I didn't know, and he's from South Africa.
Yep.
He is a white male.
Mm-hmm.
He is still technically an African American.
Think about that. Wow.
You know? So I was thinking about that. So before you go out and say African Americans to describe someone, you gotta like think that.
Like you can't.
You can be a white African American.
Yeah. No, that's deep.
That's something
deep.
to think about right there.
So I got one for you.
All right, let's hear it.
On the way back from school the other day, we saw like ducks crossing.
Yeah.
And it made me think about you see deer crossing. You see deer crossing signs all the time. How far after the sign does a deer crossing stop? There's no signs. How do you know when you're out of the deer crossing?
I thought there were signs. Oh, there's no like deer crossing end. I guess it's kind of when you cross the state lines, because usually it's when you get into New Hampshire. So it's like.
What if there's signs in Massachusetts and Medfield say deer crossing, but it doesn't say for how long. So how long do I got to be, really awake at the wheel?
I don't know. That's a good one. Those are two good something to think about. What would you say? I'd say I usually think about it. To be honest, when I see those, I usually think it's like 100 yards.
I think it's like 10 feet.
Right? It's
Honestly,
like a crosswalk. It's a crosswalk for deer.
I think it's right there. And if it's not, then I'm done. I'm done for.
Have you actually ever seen a deer at a deer crossing sign?
Never in my life.
I don't think so. So I don't think it works like a. Imagine if we could train the deer to use it as a crossing walk. That's a crosswalk, and we had like a traffic zone for deer and ducks.
That would be hysterical.
Would be fire. That might be something for Cuban for Shark Tank right there. I retired crossing guard right here. I would come out of my retirement to be the deer crossing guard.
That would be hysterical.
I think that'd be the move. I don't know. We've been rolling for quite some time now. You got
about an hour.
Yeah.
No, man, I can't thank you enough for this.
Yeah, thanks to you for coming on. I'm sitting here in my self-talk.
I was really looking forward to this.
Yeah. Do you get any final words about anything?
No, just like as I said, this better not be my last time.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I'm totally in. And if you're doing any galas or any events, anything like that, let me know.
Hell yeah, man.
I'll get some marketing for myself too. I'm going to use you to promote myself. How about that?
That's the way it should be. That's awesome.
That's the way to go. But once again, we had Matt Brown. What's the Twitter handle?
MJB_3.
Boom, hit that up. Also, give Keno Radio a follow on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com/Keno Radio, YouTube. Search it. And iTunes. Check it out on iTunes. Subscribe. Get on iTunes. That's going to be the cool way, so you don't have to look at me in the dark. My bad about that. Once again, I don't know what happened. I thought I'd light my room, but I guess I don't. So we don't have a studio. But anyways, that's the show right there. Once again, Matt, thanks a bunch for coming on. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, man.
All right, and I'll talk to you soon for sure. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Take it easy. Maddie, we'll catch you later, all right?
Man, I
Thanks,
love
brother.
Do
college.
I really have to graduate, or can I just stay here for the rest of my life?
Keno Radio. Keno Radio. Keno Radio.